Good morning. Today I am doing my wrap up for the Booktubeathon. Now, I originally was expecting to be home all week during the Booktubeathon, and then my nephew got hurt and he couldn't go to daycare, so my mom and I had to go to my sister's house and babysit all week. Then I had a family reunion on Saturday, so I didn't have as much time to read as I had hoped, but this is what I accomplished. So the first book I read was This Star Won't Go Out, an Esther Earl story. So this I read for the challenge, the book that you last acquired. Although it's not my last book acquired, it was my last book acquired before the Booktubeathon started. I really enjoyed it. I give it a 4 out of 5 stars. It was interesting to read things through her eyes and her family's eyes. A lot of it was entries and stuff they had been online, which is really cool. The second book I read was this one. It's a book I read as a teenager. It's called The Face on the Milk Carton by Caroline B. Cooney. It's a book I read as a young teenager and I'd always wanted to reread it. But it was really cool to read again, and now I kind of want to read the next 3 in the series over. This book was not only the book I read because I wanted to, although most of the books I read because I wanted to. It's also a book by an author whose last name shares the first initial of your last name. So my last name starts with a C, and Cooney starts with a C, so this is the book I picked for that one. Then I started The Night We Said Yes by Lauren Gabaldi, and I had to bid it down. I will finish it. I didn't want to sit through it for the Booktubeathon, so I bid it down, didn't finish it. Then on Tuesday I had to drive 2 hours to get to my sister's house, so I read Daredevil. My mom was driving, so I had 2 hours in the car, and I read this one without putting it down. It's Daredevil Visionaries. It's a collection of the old comics from numbers 158 to 167, and the one's done by Frank Miller, and I really enjoyed it. It's my first Daredevil book I've read, though he is my favorite superhero, and I'm hoping to read more. I enjoyed it. Then I picked up, when I got there, Night at Dawn. It's a Magic Tree House book, and I read it with my nephew. I read it to him. He loved it. We read it almost in one sitting. I think we took a pee break halfway through because he's 6. This book was also my book with blue on the cover. He really liked it. I really liked it. I love the Magic Tree House series, and I can't wait to read them with my students. But going back to the time at night, and where the kids get saved by a knight in shining armor. And then I picked up 13. This one I read Tuesday and Wednesday. It took me mostly Tuesday, part of Wednesday. I read it when I was out running errands with my mom and nephew. And then I picked up Mummies in the Morning with my nephew again. He fell in love with the Magic Tree House books, and he just wanted to read them. We actually went to the library, and he checked out a bunch of other ones to read. This one, they go back to Egypt and the pyramids. And then on Thursday, I read Doctor Who when I was at the library with my nephew. I picked it up. It's a graphic novel. There's 2 adventures in it. One is Chains of Olympus. They go back to Greece and deal with the Greek gods, or the fake Greek gods who are really aliens. And the second story, they go to the future where there's this monkey criminal on this planet of criminals and this thing in the sky calling radiation storms and things. Both stories are really good. I give 4 out of 5 stars. My only thing was Amy, I don't find really particularly looked like Amy. The others were fine. On Friday night, we drove to my grandmother's house for the family reunion, which was happening on Saturday, and that was an hour-long drive. So I pulled out Shade of the Moon. This was my cousin's favorite book, and so even though I was already half finished this book, I was halfway through, I thought I would pick it up anyways and finish it and count it as one of my books read. It's the 4th book in the series. I really enjoyed this book, not as much as the first 3. I didn't like the character. It's about the little brother. It takes 2 years in the future, and I didn't like the brother, which is fine. You don't have to like your characters, but it made it a little less enjoyable. And then on Friday, I found my way to a secondhand bookstore. It's A Tree Grows in Brooklyn by Betty Smith. It's my mom's absolute favorite. She read it when she was a teenager, and so I picked it up and read it. It mostly focuses on her teenage years, though there's parts from her childhood. I really enjoyed it. It was a good read. It was a long book, almost 500 pages, and I spent all day Sunday reading it. I give it a 4 out of 5 stars. It's one of those reads that I do really like, just a read story. It's the story of their life, her life. and what it was like growing up. Not the authors, I don't think, although I'm sure she drew from her own experiences. Those stories where it's just their life and how they experienced it and lived it. I do really like those stories where there's not some big adventure or some big climax. It's a nice break and a nice, fun, simple read. So this was my book of someone else's favorites. So the last challenge was read 7 books. So I piled all the books I had this week. It was 9. Some of them were short, but I read 1,848 pages. So 7 books out of 1,848 pages, about 200 pages a book. I really enjoyed this readathon, even though I didn't get to read as much as I hoped, but I'm so excited to try a new one soon. Maybe in October during Dewey's readathon will be my next one. Have a great day!